Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name's Muttahir Salim. Some of you whom I know well, some of you I've met, and welcome everyone else. And I hope I get opportunity to meet you later during the day. Let me just, what is the question that we're going to be talking about? Is what are the strategies to build a better and greener future for security sector? What I wanted to do is, before I introduce the panel, I want to kind of get some key points to help us all frame the question, because there was some touch points earlier about safety and security and kind of how they interoperate between the two. And there's quite a few examples given earlier about this. But let me just give you 5 key touch points before I introduce the panel. One is resilience and long-term viability. Sustainable security practices ensures our systems withstand shocks, whether it's a cyber attack, natural disaster or resource scarcity. Resilient security adapts and endures. Imagine energy efficient surveillance systems powered by renewable sources. To some extent, we've already seen that. When the grid falters, these cameras remain vigilant. Sustainability is our armor against uncertainty. Resource optimization. Security consumes resources, energy, materials, water. Sustainable design minimizes waste, reduces carbon footprint, and optimizes resource use. Think of smart buildings, for example, that has integrated command and control systems, security lighting, crowd analytics, controls, and so on. It's security that doesn't strain our planet. The fact is that buildings account for about 39% of global energy-related CO2 emissions. So somehow we've got to interrelate what we're doing into sustainability and the other way around. Global goals and local impact. The UN Sustainable Development Goals, which you'll be familiar with, are our shared roadmap. Security touches every goal, from no poverty, protecting vulnerable communities, to climate action, to reducing, this is by reducing emissions. In this kingdom, Vision 2030 echoes this commitment. Sustainable security contributes to our thriving economy, vibrant society, and ambitious nation. The fact is that Saudi Arabia aims to increase the share of renewable energy in its energy mix to 50% by 2030. Security is part of that roadmap. Public perception and trust. Sustainable practices enhance reputation. Imagine a company securing critical infrastructure while minimizing environmental impact. Trust is our currency when security aligns with sustainability. Stakeholders believe in our mission. And last but not least is ethical responsibility. And I'm kind of touching on the supply chain, for example. Security isn't just about locks and alarms. It's about safeguarding our lives and assets. Sustainable security aligns with our moral compass. Picture an access control system built with conflict-free minerals, respecting human rights. It's not just secure, it's ethically sound. With this thought and to help us frame this question, and before I kind of put forward a question, I want to quickly introduce our panel. So we've got Farah Ghanem. Welcome. Farah Ghanem is the head of climate change and policies at Alpin. He's a certified climate change professional and low carbon consultant, board member of the Association of Climate Change Professionals, and part of the advocacy group and Advanced Net Zero Initiative. I think it's going to be quite interesting. Some interesting insights from you. Saeed Ba-Dugaish, welcome. Saeed works with Saudi Aramco. He's a chairman of Net Zero Committee of the Safety Industrial Security Organization at Saudi Aramco, as I said. He's an expert in climate change and net zero initiative. I had a quick chat with him last week, and he had some really interesting insights of what they're doing at Aramco. Be very welcome to see what he's going to say there. He's got a bachelor's degree in finance, King Fahd University, petrochemical and minerals, master's degree in criminal justice from Boston University. And last but not least is Dr. Ahmed Sakalla. Welcome. Welcome. Over 25 years working across the Middle East, Europe, and the former Soviet republics. He's got a background in medical, electrical, mechanical engineering, complemented by a PhD in biomedical and clinical engineering. He has been able to leverage innovative approaches in cybersecurity resilience and sustainability across the digital systems and look at private and public partnerships models which could actually support answering our key question. Now, if I may, I'll go straight into our first question, and I'll open to the panel. Dr. Ahmed, may I ask you, what are the strategies to build a better and greener future for the security sector?
Thank you very much, Muttahir, and thanks to everyone. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I start, I want to thank the Middle East Conference members and organizers. I want to thank very much the strategic partners who made an amazing conference like today. It is a big gratitude to all of you guys. Thank you very much again for hosting us today, and thank you very much for giving the sustainability a topic of discussions today. So the public-private partnerships could contribute to the sustainability by definitely different pillars. We are here talking about the sharing expertise, we are talking about the pooling resources, and we're talking about aligning incentives. All of these three pillars would more or less integrated between the public and private partnerships or public-private sectors. Of course, by the frameworks and policies will provide more or less the certainty of the integrities, will also add values to the sustainable, healthy practices that could be more valuable in the partnerships, and of course that will lead to the collaborations across the sectors in terms of the public and private partnerships. We have, of course, different examples that could be applies, and we can see now the great 2030 visions that always address different parts of the sustainability. We can see the great partnerships in between the public and private sectors, where we can share from each of both of these sectors the add values and the benefits and the incentives and so on.
Thank you for that. Farah, can you provide some input there? Just give us, talk about some of the strategies that in the industry that you've worked in, providing, give us some examples and that kind of providing a better, greener future. What approaches are you using in the work that you're working at the moment?
Yeah, thank you, Muttahir, and I'd like to also join my thanks and appreciation, just like Dr. Ahmed has done before me, to the organizers, to the attendees. We're appreciative of being invited and being here. In terms of strategies to kind of align the security sector with sustainability ambitions or sustainability initiatives, I'd like to talk more about where does it all start, and it starts at the manufacturing of these security technologies that we use, be it physical security like cameras, sensors, CCTVs, and so on, or in the cybersecurity realm where we're working on databases, we're working on mainframes and computers and so on. So decarbonizing the process of manufacturing these security systems positively contributes to a net zero goal, whether at the built environment level or even at the national level. I'm a strong advocate of the term that net zero is for everyone. There isn't an industry or a sector that doesn't have a touch point when it comes to sustainability or net zero in general. And that's where the security industry as a whole can start to take part, as opposed to considering that we don't have anything to do with sustainability. We're just providing technology to safeguard the environment, safeguard the built environment, safeguard the well-being of people in general. However, that is in itself social sustainability as well. Maybe later on I'll come to some more discussions on the actual intersections of the security industry as a whole through the technology it provides, alongside corporate sustainability or built environment sustainability in general. But yeah, going back to the question point, strategies to go towards a greener future start at the supply chain of the security industry, greening that supply chain and decarbonizing the entire process.
Thank you. Saeed.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. Again, thank you, Muttahir, for the kind introduction. I would also like to thank Security Middle East for the invitation. I believe when it comes to security sector, we should build our strategies that help in driving our ambitions in order to achieve a sustainable growth within the security sector. A good way is to do what we did in building a new strategies under the acronym Aramco, and that has nothing to do with Aramco companies, just an acronym. A stands for assessing current practices, R stands for reporting regularly, another A for awareness and education, M for monitoring our progress, C for collaborating with other entities, be it government agencies or private sector, and last but not least, operational efficiencies. I believe by having these 6 strategies, we can definitely contribute to a green future without, of course, forgetting our main mission, which is protecting people and assets.
Great, thank you very much. May I continue with you, Saeed? Are you able to throw any light into what Aramco's doing with respect to net zero and alignment with security? It's quite a challenging question, not just for Aramco, actually across the private sector as well. So are you able to, can you throw any insights there?
But before we answer this question, we need to explain what we mean by net zero for those who are not familiar with such terminology. Basically, net zero means that we need to reduce the avoidable emission as far as possible, and also balancing the unavoidable emission by projects that can offset the equivalent amount of CO2. So going back to the 6 strategies, where we starting by assessing our current practices. This can be done through evaluating our processes in order to look for some area of improvements, some strategical or sustainability gaps, and look for example, things to bridge them all, or strategy to bridge them all. Moving to reporting regularly, we need to have our own KPIs, LOIs, and so on and so forth, to know our performance and also to share our success story. Awareness and educating our people is a crucial component.
Absolutely.
Those are the secret recipe for any success. They need to be engaged, they need to be on board, they need to know the risk behind not going with a net zero concept in mind. We are also monitoring in a 24/7 basis to know, to track our progress, to know that our items are moving toward the right direction. Taking into consideration collaborating with other agencies, learning the best practices, getting to know some of the latest technology in the field is a crucial component. And of course, we should not forget our operational efficiencies. We need to be committed to energy-saving technologies. We need to be committed for recycling and waste resource strategies, and also optimizing our resources in order to reduce our environmental footprint.
Thank you for that.
Anytime.
That's really good. Farah, do you want to build on that? What we just kind of picked on? in terms of the net zero built environment? You want to talk about that, or do you want to talk a little bit more about the intersection points of the security industry with environmental sustainability within the built environment?
Yeah, sure. I guess I can touch a bit on both.
Yeah.
When it comes to the contributions, let's say, of the security industry to a net zero built environment, one of the kind of tangential or indirect impacts is that with security systems in place, we might need less patrols, less use of logistics within, let's say, a master plan or a development, which contributes to eliminating the need of or the emission of transportation-related emissions from vehicles. Security systems can also help provide insight on the operational profile of a building or a facility. And through that operational profile studies, we can then optimize the operation of different other systems, such as the HVAC, lighting, and so on. And then, of course, when it comes to the other intersection points of the security industry with sustainability as a whole, sustainability, funnily enough, is dissectable into different pillars. I like to look at them as the ESG pillars of sustainability in general, and that those ESG pillars are not only related or only applicable to corporate or organization levels.
Sorry, can you just explain what ESG is?
I'll do that for sure. It also addresses the built environment, and with ESG we mean environment, social, and governance of either a corporate or even at the built environment level. So when we're talking about environment, we've already discussed how security system intersects with environmental sustainability through reducing emissions from transportation, through decarbonizing their own process, through powering their own systems using renewable energies, for example, and so on. And then from the social sustainability aspects, this is the core purpose or the core goal of security systems, which is to safeguard the people. Which intersects very strongly with social sustainability aspects of a built environment or at a corporate level. And then on the governance, security systems support in enforcing laws, regulations, preventing crime, and so on. And probably most of you might not be aware about, let's say, the sustainability standards that are being implemented in the built environment industry. There's a lot about is the built environment being built in a way that promotes safety and security of the occupants. And that's under a sustainability standard. It's not under a security standard. And that's where it intersects with the related security standards that are being used in developing or building these buildings and assets. So even from a sustainability lens, we look at the safety and the security of the occupants. The primary goal of sustainable development is the health and well-being of the occupants while being energy efficient and limiting or mitigating carbon emissions so that we don't negatively contribute to climate change.
Great. So can I just pick on one point with you? Can you just draw us a little bit light into that standard that you talked about with a built environment where it talks about sustainability and security? Are you familiar with that standard? Can you just throw like 30 seconds on that one?
Yeah, sure. When I spoke about this, the standard that is in mind was the Mustadam standard, which is a Saudi built environment sustainability standard. It addresses buildings, it addresses communities, and it addresses infrastructure in certain elements. I was part of the team that helped Sustainable Building, the authority that runs it, in developing that standard. So I'm quite an advocate of the principles within that standard.
Thank you. That's fantastic. Thank you. Dr. Ahmed, how can the security industry leverage innovative approaches to enhance both cybersecurity resilience and sustainability across the digital ecosystem? That's primarily primed towards you because of your background, so quite interested to hear what your thoughts are on this.
Thank you very much, first of all, for the great inputs from my colleagues, Saeed and Farah. It was an amazing, great inputs. It is very important to talk about the sustainability, but I want to go the way around of before I go to the technology intersections and contributing to the sustainability sector. I want to go with the sustainability. Gentlemen, I want just to go shortly. The sustainability is having three important tracks: the environmental sustainability, the social sustainability, and the economic sustainability. When it comes to the technologies and how are the technologies could contribute and promote the sustainability sector or the sustainability methodology is exactly where we can work more or less on the energy efficiency, where the whole technologies and the whole industries could add values to the energy efficiency. We could also add values by the remote monitoring, the environmental monitoring as well, where the technology add more values to the sustainability sector and sustainability field of specialty. We could also work on the optimization of the resources, where also the technological would be add more values to the sustainability. Also, we could talk about the waste reductions and the CO2, as my colleagues, they mentioned the emissions. So all of these will add more values to the technological and the intersections promoting between the industrial and the sustainability field of specialty.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So I think this is very important to readdress, but this is a very deep and long discussions that we don't want to go long because I believe the time is coming up.
I think time's almost up.